Okay, so let's look at the next doubling scale that we're going to look at before we go on to any new tunes. So this is going to be the E doubling scale. And these doubling scales are named by the note that they are on. Okay, so so far we've looked at high A, high G, now we're going to be on E. Okay, so the E doubling is comprised of the G grace note and the F grace note. The G grace note we've already looked at, so let me show you how to do the F grace note. So the F grace note is going to involve picking up this finger here. Okay, so the E doubling overall is going to look like this on its own. So we're executing this G grace note here, followed by the F grace note there, and that's really all it is. Okay, so let's look at how to do that when we're coming from each of the scale notes individually. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play the metronome here at 60 beats per minute, and go ahead and follow along with me. Okay, so one thing I do want to point out is the last two bars of the first line in your sheet music, you'll notice that the doubling is missing that first grace note. And that's because we're coming from high G, and in the last bar, we're coming from high A. So it's impossible to play the first grace note, the G grace note of the doubling in that case. So this is what we call a half doubling. So we write it leaving out that first grace note, and we also play it leaving out that first grace note. So coming from high G, we just come straight to the E and finish with the F grace note. And same thing from the high A. A, E, F grace note. So it looks like this. So other than that, remember to try it without the metronome first, and then only when you're comfortable, try it with the metronome along with me in the recording, and you should be good to go.